All right. Would you like to know the number one KPI that you should be tracking to get more repeat and referral closings into your business? Then you're in the right place. We're going to chat about that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Hi. Welcome to the RAMS Agent Production Call. The goal of this call is to help you sell more homes by maximizing your repeat and referral closings by implementing the Referral Agent Mastery System into your practice and leveraging our brokerage tools such as Lofty AI CRM. My name is Mike Cerrone. I'm a co-founder of RAMS Agents at EPIQUE Realty, and my co-host is Angela Newman, a master trainer of RAMS Agents at EPIQUE Realty. Hello, Angela. How you doing today?
Good morning, Mike. I am just excited to be here and excited that this is our first Tuesday morning call, production call, open to anybody that would like to join us every Tuesday. So great to be here.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Good point. And we're going to be hitting a little bit of those schedule changes here in just a second. Before we do, let's do this. Let's open up for some good news. Anybody have any good news they'd like to share?
I did receive an email sometime last week. I can't remember which day it was, but I received an email from a friend, and she we haven't spoken in years actually, but she sent me an email, says, "Hey Blake, I've been following your journey in real estate, and I wanted to reach out to you because me and my daughter are now going to be looking to try and buy a house." And she's been renting for 6 years, and she laid out all of her financial challenges, but I got her immediately hooked up with a mortgage broker that is very experienced with challenging situations, and told her, talk to him. And she's on a 7 or 8 month timeline is what she's hoping to get into a house before Christmas. So we'll see how that goes. But if it weren't for my regular output of what I'm doing and telling the world what I'm doing through the RAMS program, then I would probably not have gotten that lead.
That is fantastic. That's great news. And it's a testament to you, Blake, that you're following the RAMS program and you're basically doing the reach outs, right? You're getting out in front of your people on a consistent basis. That's all that RAMS is about, and that's all that anybody needs to do to be successful in this business on the repeat and referral side. It's easier said than done. That's why we created a system to keep you on track and give you the best methods for doing it. But in essence, it's getting in front of folks. And we're going to come back to that in just a second. But thank you for sharing that good news. Congratulations, Blake. That's fantastic. Anybody else have any more good news that they want to share before we move on? All right, cool. Let's go ahead and jump in. So as I think you've picked up on, RAMS Agents has moved to EPIQUE Realty, and we're really excited about this new opportunity, this new platform, this new brokerage. And with that change, that's going to affect our RAMS program because we're setting it on top of a new brokerage and a new CRM. So I have a fast start guide that I created, and I'm going to be repurposing that and rewriting that up. That's going to take me a little bit of time, so I need to get into the new system and learning. So my goal is to get that done within 60 days, maybe sooner, but that's my goal, is to get that all up and running and in place. So we'll have our checklists for our brand new CRM, as well as all the videos. In the meantime, go ahead and feel free to poke around in there and learn it. You can learn it as well as I'm learning it. And as I'm bringing that guide out, you can say, "Hey, Mike, that doesn't quite jive with what I saw. Maybe you need to make an adjustment, and we can get this thing fine-tuned and put together for everyone else as well." So that's a quick update there. Also, another update is we're doing RAMS agent profiles. That's what I'm going to call this. And the RAMS agent profiles are where we're getting together and we're sharing the stories as we're moving over to EPIQUE Realty. And kind of there's a couple purposes there. One is to let people know what's going on, kind of give them an update. Know that the water is warm over here and everything is safe. Also, we're using it for a second purpose, which is agent attraction. So what basically happens there is it's a quick interview, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And we're going to be basically getting your story. We're going to let people know what's going on. And at the end, we're going to say, hey, how could people reach out to you if they'd like to learn more about the EPIQUE journey and RAMS agents? And we're going to give your contact information. And then we're going to have a video that's going to be turned into a video, go onto our YouTube channel. You can also get a copy of that video and put it out anywhere that you would like. So if you'd like to put it in the social media or another YouTube channel or whatever you can see as a purpose for it, that'd be great. And we started off yesterday with Angela. So Angela, thank you so much for being our pioneer again. So Angela went out there and did an interview, did a fantastic job. We'll be editing that up over the next couple of days. Angela, how did it go? How was the interview that we did for the profile?
You know, it was a lot of fun, and I am excited to share, you know, as we dig deeper into all of the benefits that we have access to now, because I am experiencing those, you know, as needed. And so, but yeah, it was a lot of fun doing the interview, and I hope it really helps somebody to be able to watch it and get my insight.
Yeah, thank you. And Angela did a great job. It was very natural and just kind of off the cuff. That's what we want. Just kind of want it to be her experience and her background, and then her experience moving into the new company and showing how that went so that people can connect, because we don't know what they're going to connect with. Uh, and again, thank you for doing that. And hopefully that'll result in something great for you and for the company as well, and for our organization as it grows. All right, and I think Blake, we chatted that you're going to be getting yours scheduled soon, so we're looking forward to getting that done as well. Cool. All right, so what do we got there? Any questions? Let me just ask that. Do you have any questions, Blake, on the profile? Well, we have Angela that just did it, me here, before we go on.
No, I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to doing the interview. I think it's going to be a neat tool as well, just to kind of tell people where I am and what I've been doing, and I'll be able to share it with others as well. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's really going to be cool because just for instance, between you two, right? We've got Angela's got 20 years of experience. We got Blake, who's been in it for less than a year. So we can get two different perspectives. We don't know who's on the other end listening. And or has friends, you know, in different positions. There's a lot of different connections that can happen. As Angela and I were digging into the EPIQUE model, we were just digesting information from every source we could find as fast as we could. And we found some interviews out there, and it kind of stimulated that idea to go back and do that. And I even sent a couple interviews over to Angela. I think they were helpful just to kind of confirm what we thought was going on there. It's good to get another voice. And so anyway, I think that's going to help us out in our efforts. All right, so let's go on to the next one, which is we have a schedule change. And excuse me. So we've remodeled our weekly meetings to add more meetings. Really what we're doing is we're trying to narrow in on different concepts, right? So thank you for showing up here on Tuesday. And Tuesdays are going to be our production calls, where we're talking about how to get more repeat and referral business into your practice. That's going to be the focus of this call. And then we're going to have a call on Thursday mornings, which is our attraction calls. So if you want to learn how to attract more folks into your organization, build out a downline, create some residual income, we're going to be talking about our flows and our journey and what we're learning over there, what's working best practices as we build that out. And then Friday, we've got a webinar that we're putting together each Friday. It's going to be consistent to happen every time, so you'll know when it is. And I think we have that set up for 11 o'clock Mountain Time, my time. So that would be 10 o'clock Pacific, 11 Mountain, 12 noon in Central, and then 1 o'clock Eastern. And it's going to be consistent every single week. And the purpose of that and why we're doing it that way is I'm going to be presenting the EPIQUE model. This is for agent attraction. I'll be presenting the EPIQUE model. And it's a consistent thing that you could invite people to that you bump into. So it's very simple and easy for you to do that. And we also created a very easy way for you to hand off, a way for them to get there. Okay, so we have a forwarding link, and that link is ramszoom.com. So ramszoom.com. Nice and easy and simple, and you can tell them, maybe spelled out when you give it to them to make sure they get it, but that's going to be it. And then again, you can send them there, you can show up with them, you can just send them to us, and we'll be asking them, how did you hear about it? We're going to be sending them back to whoever referred them. If I get into a conversation with them, that's going to be the first question I ask is, hey, how did you hear about us? What's going on? And make sure that when they join, they're going to join on your first line. That's the goal and objective, to help you build out your agent attraction revenue share under the RAMS agents umbrella. It's one of our nice tools that you get to attract them as well. And then we all grow as an organization. We have more fun. We get more information. As you can see, we're starting to already get some more folks that are joining us, which is awesome. Thank you so much for showing up. And anyway, so that's what's going to happen there with the schedule. Any question on those 3 meetings we're going to do? So basically doing 2 meetings, a production and attraction, and then 1 webinar. You don't have to show, you can show up to any of them or none of them. It's completely optional as always. But if your desire is to grow with this company, that's what we're putting together for you. Any questions on that? All right, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and now get back into what I kind of teased at the very beginning, which is how can you increase your repeat and referral business. And it's a very simple idea, and you're going to hear me hammer on it more over and over and over again because it's so critical. It's just so simple that we forget it and we don't actually do it, or we let it slide. So anyway, here's the number 1 thing to do to double or even triple your number of repeating referrals in a year, and that is to focus on 1 KPI, key performance indicator. Okay, so KPI is a key performance indicator. It's basically a metric, and if you can track it in paper, people do it on a sheet, they'll do it on a 3x5 card, they'll put it in a spreadsheet, whatever your personality is, that's fine. Do one of all of those. But if you do this and you just start tracking this number, your repeat referral closings are going to go up and possibly go up dramatically. Okay, it's you're going to understand it's completely logical when you hear what it is. But I want to emphasize this point that if you will just track this 1 number every day, you will see dramatic increases in your repeat and referral closings. So what is the number? Here it is. The number is the number of conversations you have per day. The number of conversations you have per day with somebody in your sphere, your past clients, your friends, and your family. How many conversations do you have with them? And these conversations, they don't have to be, hey, who do you know who's thinking about buying or selling real estate in the next 6 months? You could do that, and that works, but it gets annoying after a while for you and for them. So that's why we're giving you all these tools and things to kind of bring in front of them. You can talk about events. We love events here at RAMS. You can talk about the weather. You could talk about their family. You could talk about any connection you want. It's a matter of getting in front of them and having a conversation and being available. As Blake was just mentioning at the beginning of the call, because he had reached out and made himself available, one of his friends, this lady, just stepped up who he hadn't heard from in 2 years. She steps up and says, yeah, I'm thinking about buying a home, Blake, and I'd like to chat about that. Fantastic. If Blake had not been reaching out, she would have still had the same impulse. She still would have wanted to buy a home. She just would have contacted Sally or Jack or somebody else, and Blake would have been left out in the cold. But because Blake was in front of her, all of a sudden, he's the one getting the call. Okay, so now he's moving into a conversation. So you can start those conversations. We give you all kinds of tools in RAMS to get that going. Let me just go back and just say, track the number of conversations per day. That is the key. If you want to improve anything, is to track it. It's so interesting that if you write that down, your numbers will go up. Let me give you a great case study. where this really was driven home for me. As you know, I've interviewed the top agents in the nation. I was very fortunate to do that, did that for a decade. And in interview number 220, I actually just went back and looked. So if you want to go to success calls at the Mastermind Agent, just go to mastermindagent.com, go into the success calls and look for number 220, 220. There was an interview with a gentleman named Caleb Spears. He's a young fella. At the time, we interviewed him a couple years ago. He was a young guy. I think he was in his 20s. Great guy, lots of enthusiasm and a lot of energy. And he wanted to improve his business. And he got a mentor who I had also interviewed, by the way, another great top agent. He just got lucky. This guy was an agent up in Alaska and moved down to Florida where Caleb was and just happened to be in front of him. And this guy said, look, Caleb, if you want to increase your business, all you got to do is track one number, your number of conversations per day. And Caleb, being the analytical person he was, set up this giant spreadsheet and he's tracking all these numbers. And if you watch that interview, you'll see he pops open his spreadsheet and shows you all the numbers. And what he discovered was the more conversations he had per day, the more closings he had per month. And there was a little bit of a lag. I can't remember the lag. You'll have to go watch it, but I think it was maybe a month or two later, all of a sudden the number of closings went up. Caleb tripled his number of closings in 1 year, and he attributes it to the one factor that he started tracking all the conversations. Why? Because when you start tracking it, your mind goes, hey, how many conversations did you do today? Oh, I didn't do any conversations. I better reach out and have some conversations because I'm not going to keep writing zeros down on my tracking sheet. I got to go make some conversations. And then he know that once he saw that connection, then he got excited as he saw his production go up. You're like, okay, well, what was this guy doing? What did he do? Sell one closing and then he went to 3 closings? Is that the triple, Mike? I don't remember the number of closings, but I remember the GCI. He went up to his GCI after he tripled $925,000 a year. Just for him, not the team, him. All right. So, and he's not the team leader. He's on a team. Okay. So he's on his brother's team. His brother does even more. We interviewed him as well. But Caleb is the interesting character that he came in and he just started tracking his number of conversations per day. And the majority of his business is repeat and referral. Okay. He just started talking to more people more consistently. So that's why I'm harping on this so much is if you track this KPI of number of conversations per day, your repeat and referral closings are going to go up. So again, you decide how you want to do it. Do it on a sheet of paper. You just put it next to your desk or by your phone or something, and you just start writing it down. You can do it on your phone. You're a technology person. Great. Go ahead and put it in one of those little sheets on your phone. You want to put it, I like spreadsheets. I'd put it on a spreadsheet. It doesn't matter how you do it. In fact, let me tell you what I do. I actually like writing it on paper, and then right when I'm done with a session of talking to people, like I try to condense it into one period of time during the day. I'll go ahead and try to make my conversations. Then I'll write down what the numbers were. And then I'll input it into my spreadsheet so the spreadsheet can calculate all the numbers, the cumulative numbers over time, so I can see what's going on. Well, I'll give you one more little quick one on the power of tracking, and then we're going to open this up for any input or questions you have. Here's the power of tracking. So when I was younger and I had a lot of ambition in real estate, I wanted to sell a lot of homes. I had the goal, like a lot of people do, to sell 100 homes in a year, right? It's one thing to have a goal and it's another thing to do it. So what I did was I created, I had heard that visualization was important. And I didn't actually create it. My wife created it for me. She took a big piece of I can't remember what you call it, paperboard or kind of whiteboard, but it's you can write on it. It's like a thick piece of paper. I'm trying to think what the name of that thing is. Anyway, she created a big piece. I'm trying to think of what the size was, probably by 3 feet by 2 feet or something. And she just drew houses, like the shape of a house, a block that was the shape of a house with a roof and a little chimney, and they were blank inside, and she did 100 of them on a sheet of paper. And it got posted on the wall next to where I was working in my office. And so every day I had to look at that thing and it was empty. Like this ain't working. And, you know, it had the year on top and she had all these beautiful colors on it. And I'm embarrassed because I don't have that stupid thing filled out. And so every time I have a closing, though, I get to run over there and I get to write in the address and fill in the box. Okay. So it went from just white to whatever color. I had a bunch of different colors, but I wrote in the address and the colors. And over time, that thing starts popping out. Okay. That thing starts popping out. And I did not hit my goal of 100 closings that year, but I did go from 20 closings to 41. So I doubled because I was focused on it. And I was so mad that I didn't hit my 100 that we did it again the next year. And we created that chart, right? And so my wife did it and made it even better looking. And, you know, it was kind of cool. And we thought, all right, this is neat. And so I was now excited about it. I felt I had to go fill out that chart. And so I'd have a closing, I'd go fill out the chart, I have a closing, go fill out the chart. I start feeling good about it. And so the next year I didn't hit 100 either. I didn't hit 100, but I went from 41 to 95. Oh, okay. Yeah, right. Terrible that I didn't hit my goal, but I was pissed that I didn't hit my goal. So we made the chart the next year. So the third year was the charm. We made the chart, I put it up there and I started filling it in throughout the year. And we hit 113 closings that year. So just telling you the power of a chart and tracking and visualization. And also I'm trying to show you that may not happen immediately. I didn't hit the 100 right away, but I was moving towards it and my production was growing and my revenue and income was growing. And you start to feel really good about it. So Caleb tripled his in a year. I'm jealous. Took me 3 years to get up there, but I guess that was actually a 5-fold. But anyway, you get the point. Tracking, do the tracking. If you want to get more repeat and referral closings, just start tracking the number of conversations per day. And it's logical. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you create. All right, so let's go ahead. What do you think about that #1 KPI of tracking your number of conversations per day? Anybody? What do you think?
No, I love it and totally agree with that. I have seen agents over the years who we were tracking everything, you know, kind of like he did, having that big spreadsheet with all the numbers, but it really did come down to how many conversations and having a goal of how many conversations also is important. Because you want to, you know, have something to strive for each day. But yeah, totally agree. It's a great reminder.
Thank you, Angela. Yeah, if we don't track it, it doesn't always happen, right? Because life happens. Life is distracting. Life is distracting. All right, anybody good? Anybody else, or Angela again? Anybody else on your thoughts on tracking this KPI? Like, how do you all think you're going to do it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to start doing it? What are you going to do? Are you going to do it on paper? Are you going to do it on your computer? What are you thinking?
I think it's going to be great. I love it. I have not properly done that. I think my former CRM might have had some level of that with it, but I do look forward to seeing what Lofty does there. But I think doing it electronically may give you more data points to work from over time. But starting on paper is perfectly fine, and that's what I'm going to do, is start on paper, because that's what I need to do. And I love the idea of having it's kind of check off the boxes kind of thing, and that's good. You know, I have a chart that's got 24 squares in it, because my goal this year is to sell 24 houses. I've got 4 squares checked off and with the dates on them. And yes, I've got a ways to go, but I am planning on getting there, 24. But you know what? Like you said, Mike, even if I don't get to 24, what if I get to 22? You know, I'm not going to be mad about that.
Right, right. Shoot for the stars and land on the moon. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's great. I love that you're doing the chart. First of all, that's really good. And be sure to look at that chart every day. And it's going to annoy you some days. You're going to look at that, go, I can't look at that darn chart. And that's right. That's good. That's what it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a little kick in the pants that, I'm not filling enough boxes. I better get moving. And the other one though is, see, that's the result is the chart, right? The actions are the number of conversations. You can control the actions. The results are harder, right? You cannot control how many people step up and say, hey, Blake, I'd like to buy a house. I'd like to sell a house. You cannot control how many people actually end up going to the closing by looking at the chart, but you can control how many conversations you have and therefore how many opportunities you have to create that opportunity to get to those closings. So you want to start tracking that. Like in my day, I was doing a lot of direct mail. So I was tracking how much direct mail I was sending out. I was tracking how many calls were coming back in. And that was my approach at the time. It was an indirect approach, but it worked. That's how I built out my business, was geographic farming. So then you figure out the KPIs for it. I knew those numbers backwards and forwards. I tracked them all the time. So that was the other thing that made it work. But that visualization was the driver, okay? But the KPI, me tracking how many pieces of mail I was sending out, how often, et cetera, that's like you and your conversations with your repeat and referral. How many conversations am I having per day? I'll tell you one other thing that I think might be helpful with my story. When I went to the 100, when I was doing the 20, I got stuck at 20. I couldn't get off of 20, okay? I went 20 closings a year, 21 closings a year, then 20 closings a year. I couldn't move past 20. And when I put it in a chart though, I think it started to drive me that I got to do more. My goals are bigger than the 20. So whatever you're stuck at, that might help as well. Just create that visualization of that bigger goal and put it up on a chart. All right. Cool. I'm glad to hear that. Oh, I thought of one other thing when you we're talking there, Blake. You might just try like a little simple 3x5 card and keep it in your pocket, or keep it with your phone, or even tape it to the back of your phone, because you could write the date and then just hash marks for how many conversations you have, and then you could transfer that information into your technology. Because sometimes when you write it with your hand, it's just like if you're creating something, if you write with your hand, it's just easier. It's more creative. It creates more of a creative space and a feel good and a connection, because we're taught to write, when we're in school, even today for the kids, they're taught to write. Whereas the computer looks kind of foreign, or it's apart from us. That might help. What do you think about that, Blake?
No, I completely agree. I always, I mean, I make my notes here in RAMS on paper.
Yeah.
A spiral brown notebook, says
Yeah.
RAMS on the front of it. And so
Good.
I'm all about writing whatever it is. So I think that's a great idea. It's a better visualization. It's a superior visualization because you're tactical with it as well. So that's good. But I just think if you are able to transfer it to an electronic format, it may give you more insight into how it has helped you over time. That's not going to happen immediately, but over time, you may be able to actually see, okay, I had this many conversations in May and this many in June, and look 30 days later at how my production went. So
that's exactly right.
I think we'll be able to see that over time.
And that's the connection you're going to see. It'll be from those conversations to the number of listings you're taking, or number of buyer agencies you're signing, the number of contracts that are going under, because I assume you're going to be tracking that, right? To the number of closings that you eventually have, and the people then that you put into your PCSOI for future repeated referral, right? It's got to be a big cycle, right? It's going to keep growing on top of itself. Cool. Yeah, so I think we hit the highlights and the points. Anybody have any questions about focusing on this number one KPI before we go on? Cool. Well, I hope everybody does that. Let me now just do this. Let me open up for a general Q&A. Do we have any questions about how to build up or develop your repeat and referral business to a higher level?
Yeah, I was just thinking about ways to do another contest. And I know we talked about a spring cleaning. I know we've got Mother's Day coming up, but I also have thought about trying to tie in this this idea because I just last week changed brokerages. It gives me something to talk about. And so I'm thinking maybe I can do some sort of contest. Maybe it's tied in with spring cleaning. I just thought I'd throw this out in case Angela or you or anybody has any ideas. But I started thinking, well, what if you do, or what if I do, hey, I've joined Epic, so I'm going to have an Epic spring cleaning giveaway, something like that.
Sure.
And then do exactly what we were already planning, the spring cleaning contest where I've got $100 gift card to Amazon, a 50 and a 25.
I think it's a great idea, and we can do a little mastermind around it. So let's just play. You ready, Angela and Donna? Let's go ahead and just play if you want to help Blake mastermind this a little bit. So when I was hearing you, I'll just throw out a quick idea. I'm like, that's awesome. You could do, hey, I just joined a new company called EPIQUE Realty. Super excited about it, and I want to spread my good fortune with you. So let's do a raffle, and I'm going to give away some gift cards so that you can, and then you could tie it into spring cleaning or just a good fortune, just spreading the wealth, right? Just spreading the good news, that kind of focus on it. Um, I think it's a really great idea that you're trying to think how to make it kind of fun or a party, not so much business oriented. Hey, I'm at a new company. This is my new phone number. This is my new email address. So if you're going to contact me here. That should be second or third on the list. It needs to be there, but really low on the priority list. The connection is the most important thing, as you know, everything we do. So anyway, I was just kind of my first thought. What do you think, Angela, Donna? What do you all think?
Hi, this is Donna. Can you hear me?
Hey, Donna, good to hear you.
I just wanted to make a suggestion. I often use ChatGPT for a number of things. So if you're looking for a catchy slogan for your event, you might find a couple of good suggestions there to name the raffle.
Yeah,
How
that's
did you
great,
do that? Donna,
Thank
how do
you.
you do that? Could you give us like the particulars, like you would go to chat GT. So I can't even say it. You'd go over there.
Sure.
And what would you type in to make that
Okay,
work? Could you give us
so
an idea?
I've been using it probably almost a year. I use the free version, so it's only up to date as far as June 2022. You have to sign up, obviously, even though it's free. And what I've used it for is several things. A lot of times for greeting card greetings, if you want something, for example, give me a happy birthday greeting for a woman in her 60s who's a Christian. Very, very specific. And the more specific information you give it, it'll give you an answer. The more specifics you give it, it keeps building and building and building. So in your case, for a raffle, you say to it, I want to offer a raffle to my Facebook audience, and the prizes will be whatever, Amazon gift cards. Give me 5, 10, 20, however many you want, catchy phrases that will attract people to what I'm trying to accomplish. So the more information you feed it step by step, it gives you more and more and more and more and more. And then you can decide what you like out of it. We've also used it for political issues here in Florida because we joined some conservatives groups. So we'll often use it for different facts and things like that. So very handy. And there are some other AIs out there. I haven't dabbled in them, but this is the one that came to me first, and it's pretty easy to use. So
Wow, Donna, that great advice and great walkthrough. Thank you for giving us all the examples. That
sure.
clarifies a lot more in my mind. How about you all? Is that making sense? You have questions for Donna on that?
The other thing you could do is give me 15 ways to promote myself in real estate. And within seconds, you'll have an answer. Many of which we're familiar with, but you may get 1 or 2 that you hadn't even thought of. Just anything related to real estate, you can ask. And then, you decide whether you agree or disagree with it, of course, because it is a computer picking up information from other outside sources from all over the world. So you have to be careful, some of your fact checking too.
Sure. So it sounds like kind of like a high-powered Google where it's not
Yes.
just sending you to a page, it's also kind of retrieving the information and trying to put it
Yes.
together for you.
Yes, and sometimes it will give you the actual sources of reference too, in certain scenarios. So I mean, I've been using it and I like it, and it's free. And it's kind of like it's a time saver. I haven't been able to delve into how to use it as like a transaction coordinator or as an admin. I haven't had time to delve into that, but there are people, I'm sure you know Marky Lemons. She's way, very much into the chat GPT and artificial intelligence, like through the roof. So yeah, so far so good.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Thank you, Donna. Thank you so
You're
much for
welcome.
sharing. Blake,
Sure.
does that help get your mind stimulated a little bit? Do we have any other ideas on what, Angela, do you have any input you have for what Blake can do?
So I love that, Donna. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so it made me think, you know, you're wanting to tie into Epic, into the kind of the promotion wording and stuff. So I'm thinking, Donna, that he could say, can you incorporate Epic into that as well? And that might give him some good ideas.
Blake, what do you think about all that?
I love it. Thank you, Donna, for that idea. I've actually done it while we're talking, as I often
Blake's an
do.
action taker.
Here's what ChatGPT threw out for me. I asked it to produce a Facebook Live announcement for this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Facebook Live session. Today, I have some exciting news to share with you all. As many of you may know, I've recently started a new journey in the real estate industry with EPIQUE Realty, and I couldn't be more thrilled about it. Before we dive into the details, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to all of you for your ongoing support and encouragement. Blah, blah, blah. And then it has the whole thing about the contest and
Wow.
to celebrate this chapter in my life and to express my gratitude to all of you, I've decided to host a special raffle contest. One lucky winner will receive a $100 gift card as a token of my appreciation. So there you go. How
That's
about that, Donna?
shockingly good and shockingly fast. Oh my gosh, Donna.
And it
Wow.
was in seconds, right? It took seconds for it to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that,
Oh,
not
yeah.
hours.
Crazy.
So it'll free you up to do something else.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. Obviously, I
Wow.
can tweak it a little bit here
Oh,
or there
yes,
to give it
definitely.
more my
Make it
my
your own.
flavor, but
Yes.
that's it's fantastic. If I just let it roll like it is, it's
Mhm.
good.
Wow.
You can also do
Amazing.
something like you can say to it, make it shorter. And so it'll take that long
Oh,
paragraph that you just mentioned, it'll condense it. So
shorten it down.
you're
Yeah.
basically talking to a robot. So think of it in those terms. You're talking to a robot, so it'll do whatever you ask it to do.
Well, when I first asked it to do that, I wanted to do the contest, it gave me all the details and instructions on how to conduct the contest.
Okay.
So then I just
You
said,
don't need that,
okay,
right?
give me a Facebook Live post to do it with, and then it produced that.
Terrific. Yeah.
That's
Good.
great.
Good for you.
That's great. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
Wow. Cool. Yeah, so that was good advice, Donna, for narrowing down. That's what Blake was just saying. I came back with something they didn't want, so I just put in a little narrower. And then Donna was even saying, you know, tell it to make it shorter or whatever you're looking for. That's cool. What a nice tool. I'm looking forward to hearing more information y'all have from that and that interaction. And we'll hear what Blake ends up doing. Blake, so are you thinking now? What kind of contest are you thinking about doing? Let's wrap that up. What have you decided?
Yeah, I really like the idea of sharing my good fortune because it ties to the fact that something has changed in my world, even though it's really irrelevant to my clients. But I have a fair number of other realtors, of course, that are also in my Facebook. So if I'm doing that sort of thing, doing a social media post, in this case, I do want to actually attract some questions and interest from fellow realtors. So I do have kind of a twofold goal here. It's not that big of a deal that I changed. It's not a big deal at all that I changed for my clients, but I want them to know, hey, it's good for me. Good things are happening in my world. It gives me a reason to talk to them, and for them to talk to me and say, hey, I heard you got that. You're working with that new company. Tell me about it. Hey, that's great. So that's a great conversation starter.
Absolutely. I was I was thinking about that. I'm not as fast as Chat GTP, but I was thinking about when you were saying that at the bottom of your announcement, you could put a little PS and says, "Are you a real estate agent? Do you want to learn more about Epic Realty? Reach out to me." Period.
Yeah.
Just something real simple like that for the fact that you're going to have some agent friends listening as well. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
this
you,
is great.
Blake.
Yeah.
Thank you, Donna. I think now I'm inspired. You know, I was just yesterday trying to decide, okay, what do I want to do next for my favorite people and my Facebook group and everything. So you've given me some ideas, and I mean, this is a way to celebrate. You know, we are really happy right now, so it's a great way to include them into the celebration.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to task you all with one thing here before we meet again next week. Come up with a theme for your reach out, right? Come up with it, take it as far as you want, but at least come up with a theme that you're going to do for your reach out on this topic of I just went to a new company. Okay, so that's the homework assignment. Create a theme. We've talked a lot about different options. Create a theme about how you're going to do your reach out. Are you going to make it a contest? You can just make an announcement. What are you going to do? How are you going to label it? Are you going to tie it into the spring clean? Are you going to just create its own thing where it's, hey, I'm spreading the wealth, or some other thing that you come up with that you want to do? You know, you were talking about Mother's Day coming up. You're going to somehow try to tie it into Mother's Day or any other event. There's a lot of different, there's a calendar out there for like all the different days that have some special meaning on that day. You know, you can always look at that chart and it's toast day or, you know, French toast day or, you know, some crazy thing to have all kinds of things on that chart that you could tie into as well. Let me know what you come up with. That's the homework assignment, because we got to reach out and have more of those KPIs, more of those conversations per day. And this is a great way to do it. Then you can just reach out and you can start talking to people either by the phone or by the email or the text or however you want to do it, where you start to talk to people of, hey, I just want you to know I moved to a new company. I'm spreading the wealth. You want to enter my contest? Right? It's so much more fun. Here's what you get to win. Boom, boom, boom. Right. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So good job, everybody. Let's wrap this up. We're running short on time. Let me just ask though, is there anything else that's pressing that you want to chat about before we wrap up today?
Yes, I have a question. So as you know, I'm still a referral agent, so I know I can't advertise, etc. But I would like to create a business card that says that. So I don't know what kind of restrictions would be on there, unless maybe I just need a catchy phrase that says like, let me refer you to a trusty agent. So if anybody has suggestions on what I could put on a business card that I can share online and in person to let people know, hey, I'm still out here. My situation for the other two people on the call is that I live in Florida and I don't have the Florida license yet. And it'll be a while before I get it. But I still have my New Jersey license active with EXP in New Jersey, but as a in the referral division. So I'm very limited. But I need people to know, hey, I'm still here. I just can't do everything that I used to do.
Donna, I have an idea for you I'm thinking of, but real quick, tell the group, how long were you in real estate as an active agent?
Started in 2012 at a small boutique company for about 6 years. Then I switched over to United Real Estate, which was also new at the time, especially in New Jersey, and a very high technology company, etc. And then what was happening when we moved to Florida 2 years ago, my clients in New Jersey said they no longer wanted to work with me because I wasn't physically there. And as you know, the only thing you can't do is open up a door. You can do everything else remotely, paperwork, etc., things like that. So 2 or 3 people really did me wrong last year in me giving advice, and then they went elsewhere. So I said, well, let me put the license into referral because I'm paying all of these board fees, and not able to take advantage of anything. So that's what we did. So as of late December, I joined Mike at EXP, because I had, not that I knew him personally, but I knew of him from the many years of coaching he gives to us. At least 5 or 6 years I was listening to him, and I knew he was with EXP. So I had I got faith in him, of course, but I felt like I owed him something back for all of the years of free coaching that he gave to me. So that's why I went with the EXP. But now he turned around the dirty rat and he went somewhere else. So and there is currently there is no New Jersey location yet for EPIQUE, but I'd like to keep my eyes on it maybe for like 6 months to a year and see how it goes, because as I said to him in an email the other day, it sounds too good to be true, all these freebies, and how can they afford to do that? So we'll see how it goes. And now that you have the Tuesday call, I can participate more, because Wednesdays I wasn't available.
Awesome.
So,
Well,
but
Donna, we'd
that's my
love to.
story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh, thank you, Donna. So 12 years in the business. We'd love to have you here in your participation. Couple quick thoughts real fast. So first of all, EPIQUE is opening an office in New Jersey. It's coming online probably in the next 30 days. That's what I've heard. So that's good news. And also in Florida. Second, Angela here on the call. Actually, both Angela and Blake work in 2 different states at the same time. So they're going to be good references for you. Blake has a very close geography because he's working across a border. So if anybody has that kind of situation, Blake's a great guy to chat about how he's pulling that off. Angela's working in 2 different states that are further apart, right? She can drive, but it's a real long drive to get from one location to the other. But she's had to learn how to use other people, boots on the ground, to get things taken care of in the other state where she still operates and helps people. So Donna, you and Angela should be chatting at some future time, and bring your questions for her to try to learn about how to pull that together. I think that could be a great connection for you. Coming all now, so those were the 2 things coming right back to your original question, which is how can you talk to people in the other state in the referral capacity, right? So what I would start to, I'm going to give you an idea, and I want you to start brainstorming on it, okay? Here's the idea. Matchmaker. I am a matchmaker. Okay. Like the old classic idea of someone, it typically was a woman, but could have been anybody who was matching up people to be married, right? Do you remember the vision? I think in the Greek one of those Greek movies, I think it was the Greek Wedding or something. Anyway, they have those kind of characters, but they were real. That was what people used to do in the old days. They would have these matchmakers to pull people together and match up families, match up kids. And so try to imagine yourself as a matchmaker, and then try to get that across, that that's what you're doing, is you are matching up people, somebody who wants to buy or sell a home, with the #1 or best agent in their area. Okay. And I can help you in New Jersey. I can help you in Florida. I can help you in Georgia. I can help you in Oklahoma. I can help you in California. I can help you in Colorado. So you want to start expanding their mind to, oh my gosh, Donna is the matchmaker. She knows all of the top agents. She can connect me with all of the best people who can get me and my goal accomplished. And so what you're going to want to do in that marketing and advertising is you're going to want to start, first of all, you got to have that overarching theme. You might even label yourself as the matchmaker, right? Donna Matchmaker Brown. You put it in parentheses in the middle of your marketing, okay, and your name and wherever you're posting it. You want to start burning that into their brain that you're the real estate matchmaker, okay? And then you're going to, so you're going to get that out there. That's the key. And then you're going to start to give risks of using a bad agent. Okay. So you're going to give examples of people that used an agent that didn't know what they were doing. What I'm trying to say is you've got to show how the match didn't work, right? Like go back to the original idea of the matchmaker. Somebody matched up this couple and the couple immediately divorced. They're a terrible matchmaker, right? You understand what I'm saying? So you got to try to bring that concept into the real estate. Well, don't use that other matchmaker. Don't just roll the dice and see if you get a good one. You might get a good one. You might get a terrible one and end up in a house that has leaks and plumbing problems and foundation problems. I don't know. You're going to have to think about how to throw them into harm's way and how you are the savior. Does that make sense? I don't have everything worked out yet there. I'm just trying to throw out ideas and brainstorm. But you've got to show them there's a risk of not using you as the matchmaker. Does that make sense, Donna? Okay, so that's the task. I want you to just start brainstorming that and play with it in your mind for the next week of how can you become that matchmaker. All right, does that help? All right, cool. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you everybody for being here on this session today. It was really good and enjoyable for me. I hope it was for you as well. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and we're going to go ahead and see everybody later. So keep moving forward. Bye for now.